How's it going, everybody? My name is Zertex. Welcome back to the channel. I have another spell break video for you guys. Basically, what this video is going to be about is everything you need to know about the Frostborn class. This is my favorite class in the game. To me, I think it's personally the best class. I've always been a sniper in pretty much every game I've played, so automatically I kind of attached to this class. So I'm going to be covering everything that is the Frostborn class. You know, the talents, the skills, how to hit more shots, the pros, the cons, and everything in between. So this is going to be the only Frostborn guide that you need. After you're done watching this, you should be able to be a Frostborn Pro. So I guess we'll just hop right into it. So the Ice Gauntlet, also known as the Frostborn class, you have your standard attack, which is going to be an ice bow. It's pretty on par to a sniper in other games. So if you're someone who likes sniping, I would definitely recommend this class. So like I said, it is a sniper. It is a projectile-based weapon. You know, if you don't charge it as much, you're not going to do as much damage. And it is, it doesn't have the same amount of range if I, just hardly charge it, compared to me just shooting it across the map. And then each gauntlet also has a spell or a sorcery, whatever you want to call it. So with the Frost, it is called the flash freeze, and basically what you can do is create an AoE kind of shield over you, freezing your enemies to get that cheeky little shot in. So that is the main gist of the Frostborn class. You have your bow, also kind of like a sniper, and then you have your AoE flash freeze. So starting off, we're going to go over the skills. The first one is the Frozen Alacrity. I just call it Frozone because that's literally what it is. The most entertaining thing about this class is definitely this skill right here. So this is your standard skill. You automatically start with it. That's the reason why I call it Frozone. As you can see, I am just Honey wears my super suit, cruising around the map. So this is one of my favorite things about this class. It's very helpful and very useful to get out of zone when the storm's coming, when you need to invade enemies a little bit quicker, and you don't have a movement ability. Like for instance, I have Feather Fall. Obviously I can't move very fast with Feather Fall, so I do enjoy using the Frozone ability, is what I call it. You can also use it to throw off your enemies. For instance, I will usually skate like this and then end up hitting my Feather Fall because they're not expecting it, and shooting away. All right, ability 2, we have Icicle. Ice Lance, hover in mid-air while aiming for at least 5 seconds. Highlight your targets while aiming. So it is important to note that you do only have 5 seconds in Icicle. If you decide to hold it any longer, you will start to fall. Just like that. It is a very helpful skill. This is probably my favorite skill other than the Frozone. It does highlight the enemies. So if you're trying to scout, trying to scan for enemies, you can just fly up into the air. Like I said, you do have 5 seconds, so you can just hold and scan. Oh, there they are, and take your shot. It also makes it a little bit easier to hit shots. If you're falling, it makes it a little bit more difficult. You're gonna have to track a little bit better, but when you're floating, it makes it a little bit easier to land onto your target. So Tundra is a skill that goes with your main spell for Frost, which is the Flash Freeze. For instance, I'll use it right here. As you can see, it froze the enemy, which would allow me to, take my shot on said target. The great thing about Tundra is when you actually cast your Flash Freeze, you are immune to all damage, like the spell says right there. So it's very helpful when you see, someone hurling an attack at you, you can cast your Tundra and kind of get a getaway free kind of card. Another good thing about it is, like for instance, when I was talking about the Frozone skill, so let's say I'm trying to disengage from a fight because I'm low, or they have a better position on me. I can Frozone away, and if I know that enemy is going to attack me from behind, I can actually cast my Flash Freeze and keep going away without worrying about getting hit from behind, because that flash freeze is going to absorb all the damage. Lastly, we have Ice Prism. So what Ice Prism does is it allows you to overcharge your Ice Lance, causing more damage. It's a 35% damage boost. So for instance, if I charge up my Lance and shoot it, I get 82. If I decide to charge all the way up and hold it for over a second and take the shot, it boosts it to 108. So you know, if you're trying to third party a fight, and they don't really know where you're at, or you just see someone in general and you have the surprise on them and you're able to take the first shot, definitely give that extra second and take the shot, because you will do a lot more damage, which will definitely favor in your fight, either in solos and or squads. Both of them will definitely favor you. So there's you know, almost full charge, and then I'll go ahead and use the Ice Prism all the way overcharge. Alrighty, since I just finished kind of covering all of the skills that are on the Frostborn class, I guess my next thing is aiming. If you play on PC, I highly recommend getting a controller. So I always play in controller on this game. I play keyboard and mouse with every other game. But this game is just amazing with the controller, especially for the Frostborn class. Automatically, you're gonna start hitting more of your shots. Don't expect aim assist to do everything for you. As you see, it just got off target there, so it does get off target, but it's pretty strong. I mean, it will lock on them pretty hard, especially if you know, kind of control it a little bit. It makes it so much easier to hit your shots, so I do recommend playing on controller. Another thing I'm going to recommend is coming into the practice mode like I am right now, and just practicing your shots and, you know, just kind of getting the projectile down. Obviously, you know, these bots are standing still. People are going to be moving in the game, so it's going to be a little bit harder to hit your shot. But just kind of getting an idea for the projectile and the velocity, you know, the difference between, you know, just shooting the bow like this, shooting the bow like halfway, and then also shooting the bow at like full tot. So there's a little bit of a difference in that. Literally, I mean, there's not really a way to practice it other than going to the practice range and literally just practicing it. Like, I know it sounds cliche, but practice makes perfect. So those are going to be my two biggest recommendations to hitting more shots with the Frostborn class. Is definitely use a controller if you're comfortable with it, and then just practicing. All right, next up is going to be your Offhand Gauntlet. This is more up to you and kind of what you're comfortable with. Personally, I really like to use wind or lightning. Even toxic is really good. I kind of use toxic as a shotgun more than anything. So like, think of the sniper, or think of the Frostborn class as a sniper, and then the toxic as a shotgun. Me personally, I really like to use ice because I use that as like a damage per second. So in game, I will, you know, either do one of two things. I will hit them with the ice bow and then use the frost to finish them off, or vice versa. If I don't see someone and they run up behind me and they're close, I'm going to start attacking them with the wind and then use the ice to finish them off. Another great thing about the ice and wind technique is it is going to create this freezing mist, so you might even be able to get them to freeze for a little bit and take another cheeky shot on them, or even just continue to use your wind and hammer them down for the finish. It's kind of the same concept with lightning. You know, you're going to take your bow shot, and then lightning is a very hit scan based gauntlet. It's pretty easy to land your shots with the lightning, and it does kind of fit along with the ice, same way as the wind did. You are able to shock your enemies, which will render them harmless for at least, I think it's a second on the shock. They're not able to attack or anything, so you do have time to land an extra shot on them. So that's another great offhand gauntlet that I like to use with the Frostborn class. Lastly, we have the Toxic. So Toxic is going to work the same way, but it is more of a one-hit burst damage. Oops, I accidentally hit myself there. Like I said, it is kind of like a shotgun. So you can actually get up real close after hitting them and hit them for quite a bit of damage. Kind of almost two-shotting them if you're lucky enough. Another great thing about it is obviously you have your bubble and you can freeze it, making the cold mist and freezing your enemy to get another cheeky little shot in. So next off, we're going to talk about our ability. For me personally, I really like Featherfall with Frost, and the reason being that is one, it will automatically give you height. I think personally it's a little bit easier to hit shots when you're above someone with the Frostbow, because you're automatically eliminating, you know, the fact that you're gonna have to aim up, or you know, you're gonna have to pan up and down to hit your shot. Now you might have to do that depending on how close the target is to you. You know, if they're directly in front of you and they decide to feather, you are gonna have to adjust your height up or down. But typically if they're a distance, you know, it's pretty easy to stay on target and trace them, or track them I should say, when they decide to, you know, go up into the air. So with Featherfall, you know, you're kind of eliminating the fact that you have to aim up and down. It kind of just makes it more of a, you know, tracking weapon and less of a projectile. Another good thing I like about it is with the Icicle ability that comes with the Frostborn class, is you're automatically just in the air and you're ready to take your shot. Another great thing about it is, let's say I'm disengaging from a fight, whether it's because I'm weak or they have a better position, I can hit my flash freeze and then go ahead and hit my Featherfall. So one, I've already automatically blocked them from taking shots at me, and now I can turn around and take a shot at them, causing damage while I'm running away. So that's another great thing. A lot of people don't expect you to just automatically hop up in the air and then continue to rise with your levitation through the mana. So I personally run Featherfall with my Frostborn class. I think the biggest takeaways of this tutorial is, one, if you have a controller and you're comfortable with the controller, go ahead and use it. It doesn't really hinder your movements at all, and you're definitely going to start landing more shots with the Ice Lance. And then having a strong offhand gauntlet that you are comfortable with is super important, especially if you land a big hit and you can go ahead and follow it off with your offhand and you will start melting kids. I do apologize if I left anything out. This is the first time I've ever done kind of a video like this. If you guys have any questions or comments or concerns, please don't hesitate to put a comment down below and I will definitely answer those for you. So yeah, like I said, play on controller if you can, and if you're comfortable with it, have a good offhand gauntlet, and honestly just don't quit moving. Especially with the Icicle, you want to be careful. If you're just sitting here floating, you gotta think you're stationary in the air, allowing other players that are around you to take clean, decent shots on you, and they can do a lot of damage very quickly. So I would recommend not trying to float around for too long. That's where that offhand ability comes in really handy. You can just get a decent pop on them and then continue to do damage with your offhand. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please give it a thumbs up if it helped you. Leave a comment down below. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.